Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over how the G430 system works. Going to be a pretty quick video because the master switch is on and I don't want it to be ticking too much. So first things first, once you power up the avionics, your G430 is going to power up and it's going to take some time, a little bit too much time. There we go. So once it powers up, it's going to tell you if your system is current or whatnot. It says ours expires October 3rd, 2024, so perfect. We know that that's current. So you click enter to get through these first two pages here. Enter again. Cool. Now we have COM1 frequencies. Below that is our nav frequencies, or you can also load in the localizer frequency if you're doing a instrument approach. Okay, so the first important thing about the G430 is just the home page here and how to cycle between all the different tabs that we have. So you use the big knob to get to the 4 different main pages: nearest, aux, waypoint, and nav. The main one that you'll be using is nav, because if you go all the way to the left with the little knob, it will give you your map page, and then on the map page you're going to be able to zoom in, zoom out, see all of the airspace around you, along with all the points, different GPS waypoints and whatnot. Just by increasing the range, decreasing the range, you can get a better picture of your area. Then one to the left is a very useful page as well. You'll be using this a lot when you're going to direct to a point, because it'll pop up with the track that you need to hold to get directly to that fix, the distance you are from it, your current ground speed heading towards that point, and then your estimated time of arrival, which is pretty helpful to know exactly when you're going to be there. So very big page is this one to the far left. Then using the little knob, all these other pages to the right, not too important. The one here in the middle goes over all your frequencies if you load in the correct airport, so that's pretty helpful if you want to just use the GPS to pull those up instead of your iPad or whatever you have. So that's an option. And then finally, the nearest page is really useful. So if you ever have engine failure in flight, if you get really familiar with this GPS, you can just go far right and then it'll immediately load up all your different airports that you're closest to. Right here it tells you distance, so we know if I'm 1,000 feet up right now, okay, I'm 0.2 miles away from Hawthorne, that's probably going to be my best option. Or 3.7 away from LAX, maybe I can make it. You'll have to judge that based on your altitude. And then it goes into nearest VORs, nearest NDBs, lots of different stuff that's close to you, so pretty useful. Okay, so that's the whole homepage part of the G430. Now digging into the flight plan. So whenever you want to go to a direct airport, you'll have to load it in. So as you can see here, push to put on the cursor. You push that in, and then using that little knob, you're going to twist it to the right. This is how you select your letters. I'm going to put in a VOR that's right next to me, Seal Beach. So start with S. Then the bigger knob, you're going to move it to the right to secure that letter that you loaded in, and then just twist for the rest of your letters that you need. L, and then we need I. There it is. Cool. Once you have it, then you click enter, and sometimes it might ask about a different one that's in a different country. Obviously just click the USA one, and cool, once you load it in, it's going to take you directly to that point. If we go away from the flight plan, scroll out on the range a little bit, you can see it takes me straight to Seal Beach. Cool. Next, let's load in an airport really quick. KLGB, an airport that's right next to me. Good. Then we're going to enter it in. It's going to add it to the flight plan. So you could do that for your entire route, load in all the points one by one, and then finish with your destination airport. If we want to then just double check that everything got loaded in correctly, we can go back, go to range, click clear a couple times, because that's going to declutter the map page. You can see it basically gets rid of everything. There we go, but it keeps our line to our point, so it makes it a little bit easier to see. You just don't get airspace anymore. Then if we push the cursor in and scroll around with the little mouse, big knob and little knob kind of help you navigate. You can see there's KLGB, there's Seal Beach. It's going to take us directly to Seal Beach, and then after that take us directly to Long Beach. So it's kind of a useful tool. You can scroll around and just double check that you got everything loaded in correctly. All right, next, one of the tools that you'll be using the most is the direct button. This one's really important. So let's say we want to skip Seal Beach and just go directly to Long Beach. You'll have to pull up that cursor again, push in on it, then scroll down using the big knob. Don't start using the little knob, or you'll mess yourself up. And if you ever get in a situation like this, you just click clear to get back to the previous page. Cool, now we have it again. Big knob down to Long Beach, highlight Long Beach, then we're gonna click the direct button. It's gonna ask select direct waypoint. Yes, we want Long Beach, so enter, activate, enter. There we go. Now we have a line going directly to Long Beach, skipping Seal Beach. And you can see on the flight plan, it looks like, boom, magenta arrow straight to Long Beach. It even gives us the heading, the desired track that we need, and the distance to it. Okay, next part to the GPS. So if you're doing instrument training, you're gonna want to know how to load in approaches. This is a very important part to the GPS. So this approach button right here, you want to make sure that you have the correct destination airport in that you're going to be doing your approach into. Once you have that set up, like here for Long Beach, we're going to click approach, select approach, enter. Then it's going to give us every single approach at that airport that the GPS can offer. Some of them might be hidden. You can see you have to scroll all the way down to reveal the VOR30 for Long Beach. So let's say we want to do that one, the VOR30. We click enter. Then we click any initial approach fix that it looks like we're going to be coming from that area. So Seal Beach, load, enter, enter, enter. Cool, get it in there. And then you can see approach VOR, double check that all of our points have loaded in. And it looks correct to me. Now that you know how to load an approach in, one of the most important things to learn is how to actually activate that approach. So if you click just like enter on the approach VOR, it won't load it for you. So if we know that we're going direct to a fix on the approach, like Seal Beach for example, then you could just go to the Seal Beach that's actually below the approach VOR30 line. You can't go to the one on top of it up here. That's just a part of our original flight plan. You have to go to the one on the actual approach. And then click direct enter, enter, just like before. Then it will activate our approach from Seal Beach. But in some cases, on different approaches, you are going to be intercepting between 2 points because you're getting vectored between, let's say, maybe the final approach fix and the point before that. So let's load in a different approach really quick, and I need to teach you how to activate a leg on that approach. So just like before, click the approach button, activate approach, don't want that, select approach. Let's go to the ILS30, which is a localizer approach, and let's just select mids as our initial approach fix. Okay, enter, enter, enter. Now instantly it loads it in. It takes away the one from before, which is really useful, the VOR30, so we don't have to worry about deleting that whole thing. Then also one important thing about when you load it in an ILS, it automatically loads in your localizer frequency for you into the VLOC area. You just need to click this to switch it into the active, and now if we were in the air, the localizer would be loaded in and it would be working. If we have the correct mode on the CDI button. You don't want it on GPS mode for an ILS or a localizer approach, otherwise it will just be reading whatever point that you're going towards, which would work in a sense, but you want to be tracking the localizer only, the localizer frequency, so you need it to be on VLOC mode. Just think of it as localizer mode. If you're doing a GPS approach, then of course you want it on the correct GPS mode. So that's a very important button. You need to double check it every time you're doing a different approach and make sure it's on the correct mode. So ILS, we want VLOC, that's good. Next, how do we activate that leg? Let's say that ATC is vectoring us, putting us on headings to intercept the line on the approach between Lucig and Gunny. We need to click menu on the point that's going to be that secondary point part of that leg, the second part of that leg I should say. Then we're going to click activate leg, enter, Lucig to Gunny, correct, activate, cool. Now we can double check it on the actual map page. We can go get the cursor, scroll all the way down here, over here, and see that it looks like the magenta line is from Lucig to Gunny, so that's perfect. We have it activated, so in this scenario, ATC was going to put us right in between that line there, and then as soon as we hit the magenta, it's going to activate for us, and we'll be set up to actually follow the GPS onto the entire approach. If you don't activate the correct leg, it's not going to activate for you. The GPS won't automatically select the correct position that you're in. So that's it for that portion, activating a leg. Just remember, menu, activate whatever leg you want, and click enter, and you'll have to usually do that for every approach that you're setting up. And I think that's about it for this entire system. Not really, I guess I'll go into, this is how you change your comm, your frequency, to whatever you need it to be. That's going to be the one that's highlighted. It's going to be your standby. You load it into the top one, which is your active, using this button. You can adjust your COM1 volume using that knob there, your nav volume to listen to the different Morse codes for your VORs using this button. And then all these other ones aren't as important for now. Just wanted to show you the basics on going direct to a point, activating a leg using menu, and how to clear up the actual airspace, make it a little bit more visible on the GPS is that button. Opening your flight plan, putting it away, changing different pages on here, loading an approach with the approach button. And one last thing to go over is actually how to clear a point. I forgot. So if you just go over to the point, highlight whichever point you want to delete, let's say it's mids, you just click clear, enter, and it's gone. If you want to reset the entire flight plan so that you can set up for a new approach or a new flight plan, then you have to click menu, scroll down to delete flight plan, and it will get rid of every single point on here. Then you can just restart from square one. That's it for the G430. Hope you guys learned a thing or two, and that's it. Have a good one.